Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy. If you're not new here, thanks so much for coming back. Today we're going to talk about kind of a mixed topic. So if you've watched my channel in the past, you know that I was doing a series on intermittent fasting. If you watched my channel in the past, you also know that we just announced our pregnancy with baby number 5. So you may be wondering how these things go together. So today we're going to do a video on pregnancy and fasting. So I just want to start this video off by saying that I, of course, am in no way giving anybody any medical advice. I am not telling anybody what they should or should not do with their own health and with their own pregnancy. I have done a lot of reading and a lot of research of my own, and that being said, I listen to my body, I listen to my doctor, and I ultimately will make the choice that is best for me, and I hope that everybody else does the same. But I did want to provide you with some information regarding fasting and pregnancy. So as you may or may not know, there is not a lot of actual scientific studies that are performed on pregnant women specifically for the purpose of finding out how pregnant women handle things, because it's not viewed as ethical to test things on pregnant women, which is why you'll get a lot of medications that are like a category C or a category B, and it'll say, you know, limited studies in animals or whatever, because they just don't know, they can't guarantee whether or not it's safe during pregnancy because they haven't studied it on pregnant humans. The general consensus is don't fast. Of course, you're growing a baby, you have to feed the baby, you have to feed your body. The thing is that when you're pregnant, you actually only need to increase your caloric intake by maybe 300 calories a day. And that's not necessarily consistent throughout the entire pregnancy. But it's not a lot, and a lot of people think, oh, you know, they're eating for 2, that's what, you know what I mean? And that's not necessarily true. Going along with that myth, I don't believe, whether you're pregnant, whether you're not pregnant, whether you're trying to get pregnant, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, a child, whatever, I do not believe that you should ever eat just because it's a certain time of day. You should eat when you're hungry. If you don't feel hungry and if you force yourself to eat, you're just setting yourself up for unhealthy habits, in my opinion. So that kind of goes along with what I'm going to say as far as fasting and pregnancy. Now, I would never do an extended fast during pregnancy. I would never do a 18, 24, 36 hour fast during pregnancy, especially not as part of a routine. That being said, everybody fasts. When you go to sleep and you sleep all night long and you don't get up for a snack, you're fasting. That is why breakfast is called breakfast, break fast. It is the meal that you use to break your fast from sleeping. So I do not inherently believe that fasting is dangerous when you're pregnant. I don't believe that it's unhealthy when you're pregnant, within reason. When I became pregnant, when I found out that I was pregnant, at that point, I was just eating when I was hungry. So my fasts were around 14-ish hours. I would go, you know, I would eat and then I would go to sleep and wake up and I'd have a cup of coffee, and then when I felt hungry I would eat. And so typically I was going 16, 17, 18 hours before that, and then I was eating when I felt hungry. So I do still fast. I do still fast right now, probably 12 hours recently is what I've been doing, but I'll go to bed because I don't eat. And here's the thing, it's not that I'm intentionally fasting or trying to control my weight. It's that I don't eat super late or right before I go to sleep, because that gives me heartburn and indigestion, and it makes me nauseous and I don't feel good. And when I first get up in the morning, I don't feel nauseous. So if I give myself a chance to wake up a little bit before I put food in my stomach, then it kind of eases the morning sickness and the nausea. So it just naturally happens that I'm fasting at least 12 hours. Sometimes it may be a little bit more, sometimes it might be at 14, but it's not because I'm trying not to eat or I'm trying to fast, I'm trying to lose weight or whatever. It's just because that is what works best for me right now. It's what keeps me the least nauseous and keeps the most food down and gets us the most nourishment and the most nutrition. So that is just naturally what is healthy for me. And my doctor is completely on board with me eating when I'm hungry and not eating if I'm not hungry. She's not like, oh, you have to eat every, you know, hour to make sure that you and baby are healthy. So that's what I'm doing personally. Now, I'm going to link down below. There are a couple of studies that have been done circumstantially, if you will, mostly around religious fasting for like Jewish people do religious fasts, and then Muslim people fast for Ramadan, and that's a month-long fast where the women will not eat from sun up until sundown. So they have done some studies, and in those studies, there was no conclusive evidence that there was any low birth weight, premature birth, or adverse outcomes for women who fasted during the month of Ramadan while they were pregnant. There are guidelines for Jewish and Muslim women that say, check with your doctor, check with your spiritual advisor, do what is best. They don't have to fast if it puts them in danger. So it's not like they're being forced to do it and it just so happens that it turns out okay. Women fast during pregnancy without having adverse outcomes. So I would say, in the end, my answer to fasting in pregnancy is listen to your body. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, don't force yourself. Talk with your doctor, talk with your spiritual advisor if fasting is a spiritual or religious thing for you. And in the end, just do what's best for you and what's best for your baby. Like I said, I would never recommend doing extended fasts where you're like not eating for, days at a time. I don't even have the strength to do that when I'm not pregnant. But I certainly don't see the harm in fasting for 12 or 14 hours a day if you're not hungry. Because here's the thing, when you're pregnant, things like blood pressure and gestational diabetes, blood sugar, things like that are very important. If you have gestational diabetes that is uncontrolled, you're at risk of so many things. Your baby can be large at birth. Your baby is set up for childhood obesity as a predisposition of being born to a mother with gestational diabetes that was not treated. If you have high blood pressure and preeclampsia during pregnancy, it can cause growth restriction. It can cause issues for the mother, eclampsia in emergency delivery situations, and they're just not good. The inherent benefits of fasting for even 12 hours, a 12-hour fast gives you benefits. It helps regulate your blood sugar. It helps regulate your insulin resistance so that your body can handle sugar and deal with it and keeps your blood sugars low, which reduces gestational diabetes. It keeps the swelling and inflammation in your body down, which can help reduce preeclampsia and issues that, all the benefits that are there when you're not pregnant are there when you're pregnant as well. So I feel like doing even just a 12-hour fast, it's not that much, but there's still benefit. So I kind of feel like I'm going to stick to that. Now, if there comes a time where I'm starving and I want to eat right up until I go to bed at 10 o'clock and I want to get out of bed at 7 o'clock and start eating again, I'll do what I want. But right now I feel like I am still what I would say mildly fasting. I do a clean fast when I'm not eating. I don't have anything but coffee and water, but my fasts are definitely shorter. And so again, ultimately, it is up to you. It is up to you to make a decision with your doctor, with your healthcare provider, with your, your midwife, your OBGYN, whoever it is that you are seeking advice from during your pregnancy. It is up to you and them to decide what is best for you and what is best for your baby. With my research, and again, I'll link to the articles and the studies that I was talking about, but with my research, with my reading, with my conversations with my doctor and my healthcare professionals, there is absolutely nothing wrong with fasting for short periods. And I do mean short periods while you're pregnant. As long as you feel good, as long as your baby's doing well and everything's developing normally, you should be just fine not eating for a 12-hour period during the day. And then when you have had the baby and you have established your breastfeeding, or if you're not breastfeeding, you're formula feeding, whatever, you can go back to your regular fasting schedule as soon as you feel able to and continue the healthy lifestyle that you were leading prior to your pregnancy. There's no reason to be unhealthy just because you're pregnant. So I hope that you found this video informative. If you did and you want to see future updates on pregnancy, on fasting, on anything that we do here, just go ahead and subscribe down below so that you don't miss any videos, and I will see you back here next time. Thanks so much. Bye.